80 years ago this week, a daring raid was launched in an effort to stifle the Germans' devastating V-2 rocket program in World War II. The V-2 rocket was the pinnacle of German engineering and posed a significant threat to Allied forces, particularly the cities of the United Kingdom. Therefore, a plan was hatched to strike at the heart of the program in Peenemünde on the Baltic Sea in the northeast of Germany. The Peenemünde raid, codenamed Operation Hydra, was conducted on the night of August 17th to 18th, 1943 by Britain's Royal Air Force. The primary objective was the disruption of the V-2 rocket program, which, it was believed, had the potential to alter the dynamics of the war. The V-2 rocket, powered by groundbreaking liquid-fueled engines, represented a technological leap that could not be underestimated. The British recognised that the V-2 could target cities with devastating accuracy. The Peenemünde raid therefore sought to derail this terror weapon, while broader plans to liberate Europe were devised. Planning the Peenemünde raid was a monumental task that required careful coordination, intelligence gathering and strategic foresight. Air Chief Marshal Sir Arthur Harris, known colloquially as Bomber Harris, led the RAF in devising a comprehensive plan. The raid involved close to 600 aircraft, including the iconic Avro Lancaster bombers, Halifaxes and de Havilland Mosquitoes. The Lancasters, equipped with powerful payloads, were tasked with precision bombing, while the Mosquitoes provided diversionary tactics and targeted specific objectives. British military planners studied the topography of the Peenemünde site and the surrounding region. They factored in the adverse weather conditions that could affect visibility and accuracy during the raid. The mission itself had to be executed at night to minimise the risk of being intercepted by German fighters, showcasing the importance of strategic timing in the success of the operation. On the night of August 17th, 1943, the RAF launched the Peenemünde raid. The operation was fraught with challenges from the beginning, as the aircraft encountered heavy cloud cover and strong German anti-aircraft defences. Nevertheless, the bravery and determination of the RAF personnel prevailed. The bombers navigated through the difficult conditions, and the skies over Peenemünde were soon illuminated by the explosive discharges of the bombs. The Lancaster bombers dropped a mixture of high explosive and incendiary bombs on the targeted areas, which included research and production facilities, as well as personnel housing. The audaciousness of the raid struck a blow against the German V-2 capability and their morale, as it was evident that they could be got at by a meticulously planned operation. The immediate impact of the Peenemünde raid was substantial. The bombing caused extensive damage to the facilities at Peenemünde, disrupting production and damaging research equipment. Valuable research documents along with trained personnel were eliminated in the attack. The disruption to the V-2 program was evident as the Germans faced setbacks in their timeline for deployment. The raid also prompted a shift in German strategy. Recognising the vulnerability of the Peenemünde site, the Germans began to disperse their research and production facilities to more fortified and hidden locations. While the immediate disruption to the V-2 program was clear, the long-term effects were limited, however. The Germans swiftly relocated and rebuilt their facilities, demonstrating the challenges of permanently crippling advanced military programs. The raid underscored the importance of continuous intelligence gathering and accurate assessment of the impact of such operations, which became the blueprint for subsequent raids in other theatres. The Peenemünde raid remains a landmark event, if a lesser-known one, in World War II history. While the raid succeeded in dealing a significant blow to the Peenemünde facility and the V-2 program, it also demonstrated the challenges of permanently halting such operations. The biggest prize the British won at Peenemünde appeared to be time, an essential commodity in any circumstance, but a critical one in warfare. The deadly seriousness and importance of the raid was revealed in an account by squadron leader G.G. Whittle, who gave a description of the briefing by Bomber Harris and the attack on Peenemünde. He said, "The morning of 17th of August 1943 was bright and warm, a good English summer day. It was also in the middle of the full moon period, so the likelihood of ops that night was far removed from our minds. It was with considerable surprise to see a battle order issued later that morning, and it was not to be the only surprise that day. We were later to learn that the CNC, Commander-in-Chief, was to be present at the briefing, and that there was no pre-nav briefing when we did our flight plans etc. prior to the main briefing. The rest of the day was spent undertaking the normal activities prior to operations. When we reported for the briefing, there was Bomber Harris looking every bit the pugnacious man he was reputed to be, and to a 19-year-old, awesome. The briefing started with the C&C ordering everyone not connected to the operation to leave the briefing room. That done, the curtains covering the large wall map were drawn apart. There were puzzled looks all around as the red route marker was virtually straight across the North Sea to a small peninsula on the northern coast of Germany. Many thoughts were, why there, and what was there? More surprises were to come. We were to bomb from 6,000 feet, very low for us at the time, and the bomb loads were not the mix we normally carried, but were either primarily HE, high explosive, or incendiary. Furthermore, there was to be a master bomber who would direct the operation over the target. At no time during the briefing were we told why this target, but the briefing concluded with Sir Arthur Harris telling us that the target was of national importance and had to be destroyed, and that if we did not knock it out that night, we would be back the next night and following nights until it was. With that, he wished us good luck and left. My crew, WO Bill Walkers, took off at 21:30 hours and set course on a night that was getting brighter and brighter, a nice night for flying, but not necessarily for flying due east. As we neared the target, we started our descent to 6,000 feet and turned south to attack from the north. We were in the third wave and the master bomber was in full view, telling the crews which marker flares to line up on. On the bombing run, it was a new experience to hear German ordnance exploding outside the aircraft, but we were lucky as we did not sustain any damage. What was discouraging, though, to hear the master bomber telling crews to ignore many of the marker flares that were being dropped. It seems that the whole raid was a bit of a shambles. We left the target area and climbed back to 20,000 feet on our way home, another long straight leg in brilliant moonlight. I took some time out on this leg and stood in the Astrodome, and unfortunately saw a couple of aircraft shot down. We landed back at Ludford at 04:55 hours, and after debriefing to bed, when I really was convinced we would be back the following night. It was with some relief to wake up later to hear that the raid had been a success and that there would be no return trip. It later transpired that whilst the main airfield area had not been knocked out, bomb creep had virtually destroyed the living area, with a resultant loss of vital workers on the flying bomb project. It was considered that the raid put back the flying bomb attacks on the UK by some 12 months. The most notable thing for me about this testimony is the matter-of-factness with which this seismic event is recalled. They really were a stoic and brave generation who just got on with things. It's worth thinking about just how impressive they were as we mark 80 years since the Peenemünde raid. But that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, share, and most importantly subscribe. And you can also support the channel on Subscribestar via the link in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.